Hello everyone, this is Johannes.
And this is Cinema.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And today we are taking a look at Transgalactica.
Yes, we are. This is a review copy sent to us from Devir Games, so thank you so much for that. And today we're talking about this game, and Transgalactica is almost a very good game. And in this video we will tell you why that is. Before we do anything, you can subscribe to the channel.
Yes.
You can also do it after the video if you're like, I need to know if this is a good video before I do that. But it is fair. It's free now, free forever. Great job. Now talk about games. Transgalactica is a worker placement game with a following mechanism. So let's say I'm the yellow player and it's my turn. I will take one of my captains, captain my captain, and I will place it on an action area. There are a couple other things you can do, but most of the time you're going to place it on one of these action areas. And if I go here, I will be able to do that action in a good way, a better way than the other players who might be able to follow me along and do a lesser version of that action. So when this yellow action now is taken, for the most cases in the game, you cannot no more do the yellow action. There is a joker action up there which you can do, but other than that, you're mostly locked out. So there's an interesting timing in that, because I really want to do the yellow action, but then you do the yellow action because you're yellow and you have to. You don't have to according to the rules, but you could. And then I will be like, oh, should I follow you, do the lesser version, or should I do something completely different with my life? Most of the game revolves around tracks. There are tracks on your player board, there are tracks all around the board. When you move up on the tracks, you will be able to get better missions, you will be able to get better technologies, you will be able to fight more pirates and also get more victory points if you are the player who has the most military power. You'll be moving around the planets, trying to fight the pirates and also place outposts to be able to produce and do actions and do mining actions that will give you mining production. There are different goals that you're going for, both common goals and also private goals that you're going to have in your hand. And that is basically the overview. You're doing all of these things, 5 rounds, trying to be the player with the most victory points, because this is a Euro game.
And it's basically a lot of information, it's a lot of tracks.
Yes.
But I have to talk about how beautiful and cool the artwork is, because yes, it's so good. And I love all the factions. They have like their own style that you can like recognize. I think this looks like the minions, for example.
Yes.
And the artwork in this game is just like popping and delightful. There's a lot of stickers in the game, because this is not like what do you call it?
Like screen printed.
Screen printed,
I think.
So we have like, or you have, sticked on every single one of these stickers.
Ask me how much time that took.
How much time did that take?
Around 2 hours.
Yes.
Ask me if it was worth it.
Was it worth it?
Yes.
Yes.
Because
it looks
the game
really good.
Looks way better. There is one sticker that doesn't work.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
And that is the sticker for the outposts. It does not work.
Because it's like a round thing that you have to stick on?
So I did the stickering for one of these colors, and when I placed them down, I did the next one, place it down, did the next one, place it down. Both of the other ones has boop, pop, open. So I did super glue every single one of these. 7 for each player color. There's 5 player colors. I didn't have fingers after it. 6 of my fingers were like covered in super glue. You don't have to do that, but everything looks so much better with this on. I'm going to talk to you about a thing that we don't like. There are many things I like about this game, and we're going to talk about them soon. But everything that we like about this game is kind of soured down by this thing that we're going to talk about now, which is the rulebook and the graphic design. When I read the rulebook, the review has kind of like an up and down track record for me when it comes to rulebooks. I'm just talking about the rulebook because you don't really read rulebooks.
Yep.
You kind of almost read this because you were waiting for things to happen, and we were playing it and you were just like, oh, this doesn't make sense. And I read the rulebook and I was thinking, this was a good rulebook, because I felt like I understood the rulebook. And then we started playing and we got a question and it was not in the rulebook.
Nope.
And there is this thing, like there's so many things. I'm not going to go into details, but there is like, are they supposed to be in a order? They say that they are when you place them in the beginning. There's a numbered order. Then when do you refill? Do you then organize them Are these supposed to be in a specific order? There's also like that. And that's like the problem when you have a question like that, and then there's a picture in the rulebook, and in that picture, they are in that order. Should I read that as that's just because that's the easiest way to make a picture? Or that it's supposed to be. And then you have like, so the problem isn't that this rulebook is bad.
No.
The problem is that there are many things that are not answered in this rulebook. And I have to say the biggest problem is some of the graphic design choices.
Yeah.
Mainly the symbols. There are multiple symbols meaning the same thing.
Yes.
Multiple symbols which should mean something, then they mean another thing, but on the back here there's an iconography. For example here, this is like in just one example. This is an outpost. This is place one outpost, an outpost with an arrow on it. That is nowhere to be found. There is no arrow.
This
in
is
the
place
game.
an outpost action.
Yes.
It has no arrow. I
is-
think there might be like a card or something.
Maybe, if you're lucky.
Yes. But yeah, that's like one of many examples
Yes.
of we had many questions that we like read through the rulebook and couldn't find the answer to, so we had to kind of make a logical guess.
Yeah.
To educated guess is what it's called.
And like every time we played, I felt like it was more and more evident, and there was things that we just were like, I don't know how this is supposed to go.
Yes.
So we're gonna review this game, and like I would say, it's not like you will play this game and you will feel like I'm making up 90% of the rules.
No.
It's more the feeling of edge cases and some cards like are this. For example, there is a card that says to have like one different planet. Like one planet, have an outpost on a planet, and you start the game with an outpost on the planet. So does that not count? And if it doesn't, and then if you're sometimes it says that a multicolor planet counts as the other colors, but sometimes it doesn't say that it does. So I don't know. So you have to just do that guessing. I feel like you understand. We're not going to talk about this for 15 minutes, but this is a problem in this game.
Yeah.
With that said.
Yeah, like the game is really fun.
Yes.
Yes.
Except for the times where you're just like, I don't understand what this symbol means. So let's talk about the game and why it's almost a great game.
I love the worker placement system with the following because the timing is so interesting. Because especially since you have when you play 2 players, you have 3 of these captains, but in a 3, 4, and 5 player game, you will have 2 captains.
Yes.
So this is basically your time to shine.
Yes.
This is your. I'm going to decide, and also I will get the best version. Either it's do more stuff, or it's do the same thing but for cheaper.
Yes.
And it's a tight resource management game, this one. So being able to choose the thing that you want is good. But you know that if you're planning to do the red action, and another player doing the red action, you should probably follow. Because you have like 5 chances if you're not getting another red action some other way.
Yeah.
So you have to like pivot from your plans and jump on what the other player is doing. Also, if I really need to build an outpost on the board, I need resources for that.
Yeah.
I don't have the resources now. I need this yellow production action to be chosen before this action. But you chose this first. Yeah, like I think this is really, really cool.
I really like to set myself up in a position where I'm like, it's better for me if I get to choose that action, but I'm in a position where it's fine if you choose that, that, and that.
Yes.
So I'm like trying always to put myself in positions where I can do the things I need to do. But the order is sometimes very important. I will say, this is a 2 to 5 player game, and I think it would work great with 5. It's a bit more downtime between your turns, even though you're doing things on the player turns. That's another problem in the game. It's telling you that you can do these things on your turn. What is your turn? Is that when you do the main action?
Can you do it when you follow?
I don't know. So, but even the rule book, and I really enjoy this actually, that the rule book is saying if this is the first time you play, we recommend playing it with 3 or 4 players because the game is better. And then it kind of puts on like a little bit of, but if you like shorter games, you might like it with 2, just like a reason for why there's a 2-player version. The 2-player version
it works. Yeah, it's fine.
But I would not recommend somebody who plays only 2-player to go out and run and buy this game.
Yeah, this game really shines at 3
and 4.
Plus.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that is like, and I think 5 would work great. If you like have a group, if you like not super big on AP. It's not the longest game, I would say. The box has like 40 to 100 minutes. And I would say that when we played, even the first time only took like 2 hours and 20 minutes with 4 players who never played before.
Yep.
And then like 2 hours with 4, which is really, I would say that's a good length of time. So what do you feel about, do you feel like there's different ways to go? Because in a game where you're like following a lot, do you feel like you're just like, I'm just doing everything and seeing what happens?
I think this is a game where you're going to focus heavy on something and do the other things a little bit. You can also completely ignore some parts of the game and still win. So I feel like every strategy is viable, and you can even, like, you played one round and you just ignored all of these and you still won.
And I ignored 3 or 4 of the tracks.
Yes, I don't think you should ignore your personal goals
And
because that might cost you the game.
Yes, like the first time we played.
Yes.
You looked at your cards at the beginning and you're like, I know what this means, put it down. And then 1 minute before the game ends, you're like, I'm scoring no points at this.
Yeah, I just misread the symbol. But that's not the game's fault.
No.
That's entirely
on me.
It was like
a funny thing. But I have to say, like, it was, in the beginning when you play this, it might feel like the first couple of times, it felt for me at least, that I was doing just a little bit of everything. I wasn't like honing in on a strategy.
Yeah.
But then I did one game which was really fun, where I basically did one thing. And I set my up in a position. I had a special ability that made it easier for me as well. But just like I was able to super hyper focus on this one strategy, which was really fun because it was good to see that, oh, you don't have to follow all up on all these tracks. You can just ignore very big parts of the game and do whatever you want.
And it was really fun because first time we played the game, you're drafting, or in every time you play the game, you're
every
drafting,
single time,
and some starting resources or some starting up on the tracks and something, and like a special ability.
Dun, dun, dun.
Every time but especially the first time, just like everything is good, everything is awesome. They look so cool to play with.
Team.
And yes, part of the team as well. Yes, but every time you draft in this game, at least I feel like that. I want every single thing, and I think like all of them are good.
Yep.
And it's a game that makes me excited. I think these are cool, but
we haven't gone heavy into the technologies. No.
But I think the ability that you start with is, it's not shaping your strategy. Some of them are very generic. You can play it whatever strategy you want, but that's one thing that I didn't feel like, oh, I'm left with that one.
No.
I felt like everything was cool.
And some of them are like giving you a big bonus in the beginning and then nothing, and like there's loads of variability with that. I would say the variability is pretty high because that you are both playing the players, because the people are doing different dynamics every time you play, and then you have different goals. There is like 3 of each of them.
On the map, so these will be random every time.
And then like these are pretty random every time. There's 3 level 1, 3 level 2. These are randomly set up the missions. These are just extra ways to score points. So I would say that there are many. And another thing, which is very good, because the last time we played, you ended up starting with a lot of different and extra crew members.
Oh yeah.
And I was basically thinking,
follow a lot.
I was thinking in the beginning of the game, are you just gonna crush us because you have so many people?
I did not.
I did think you not did very well.
No, because if you don't have your full crew, or whoops.
Oh, you kicked him down.
Yes, sorry. You get some points at the beginning of the turn, and also a resource of your choice, which means that you get a lot of stuff by not having all of your dudes, and also if you don't need to do what your dudes like. You don't need to do every single follow action, and you don't want to do that. So it's
but
not
like most of the time, like you can move for free here, you can move for free there, you get free resources, but some of them cost
3 points
things.
is better.
Kind of. Depending on it was the time we played there. But it was good to see, because in many of these worker placement games, like if you get in more workers, you'll be able to do more stuff, and it's a higher chance of winning. So I have to say that there is a lot of variability. It's kind of hard to talk about who this game is for, because it's, for me right now, and I think you agree, it's hard to recommend this game before it gets a new rulebook. I hope that they will add an errata or an FAQ or just like a new rulebook, because the game is great. But for me, it's hard now to be like, run out and buy it because of the things that you will be asking yourself. If you're okay with that. Some people don't mind, like when you're playing a co-op game, it's like, let's play it this way. but it matters more to me in a competitive game as well, because it will change who wins. Not like winning is the most important, but I enjoy playing for trying to optimize my strategy and trying to do the best I can. And it's frustrating when I'm like, I hope I'm playing this card correctly.
Yeah, as you said, there is no major point in this game that we don't understand, but there's these
small things.
Yeah, small things, and it was so many times of that it got very frustrating to us.
Yes, we talked about that.
And I agree, basically.
Yeah, this is, if you see this and you think you'll like it, this is for you. If you enjoy tracks.
Yes.
If you enjoy a little bit of interaction in your Euro games, but you don't want the, haha, I'm attacking you, backstabbing you, which we don't usually like, but we enjoy this interaction. And if you enjoy those kind of things, like doing normal Euro stuff, it's a cop-out to say, but I still enjoy saying it. But like the tracks, that's like the most Euro thing you can have. This game is just tracks. So many tracks, but done in a very nice way. I think you will enjoy this game, especially if it gets a good errata and you get answers to all the things that we are wondering about. So with that said, are you ready to go into the final thoughts of the review?
Yes, I am.
Oh, I'm excited. Let's go.
I think this is a really fun game. For some reason, it reminds me a little bit of Tapestry because of all of the track stuff.
Okay, so, yeah.
And also, Tapestry is a game that
It
I
is.
think, yes, the similarity stops there.
Yeah.
It's a game that has some trouble, or at least had before they tried to balance it out. But I still thoroughly enjoyed it. And when we played Tapestry for reviewing purposes, I still just wanted to play it after the review because it was just it was so fun, just so fun. And I have that feeling with this game. So there are some things that it feels like it's not done. It feels like I want this to be improved, but the game in itself, I just have a lot of fun. If we were playing this tomorrow, I will be super happy because it's a super fun game. So I'm going to give this an 8.
Okay.
But with the rulebook being kind of lacking, I will notch that down to 7.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
It suffers a little bit from that.
Yeah, I'm doing exactly the same thing. The gameplay, the fun factor here is an 8, but I will not recommend it as an 8 before you get a better rulebook or an errata that fixes it. So it's a 7 for me. So 7 is the main rating. I just have fun. I enjoy it very much. Is it like something completely new? No, and we are not in the boat where we think that everything needs to be, because then there would be, I guess, 5 games each year. Because there's so many things. It's impossible to make a new thing every time. So then, of course, you're trying to make a new twist on something. And the following thing, we've seen that many times, that I enjoy the way it's done here. And I enjoy the tenseness. So when it's my turn, it's like, okay, so I need to do that and that. And also you can think like, okay, I need to do that and that. But I think you're going for the blue because that's the strategy you're going for. And I'm fine with following on blue. And I have an extra dude. So I'm going to do green now. So I get to let's say I'm here. I get to move 2 spaces. I get another dude. So I can do more following. And maybe I can even get rid of him, like sending him up here or going to a wilderness space where I have to discard one of the dudes to be able to place there. And there's many, many things to think about. And I have enjoyed every time we played it. All the different strategies I tried out so far have been fun and viable, and I have enjoyed myself. But because of the things we talked about, it's notched down to a 7, but a very good game indeed. And that is the end.
Yes, it is.
If you forgot to subscribe in the beginning, can you still do it?
Yes, now's your chance.
Yes.
It's not too late.
No, it's not. You can also do it tomorrow if you don't have time now. But it takes like less than a second, I would think.
Maybe have time for that.
Maybe 2 seconds.
And
also, if you don't have time for that, you shouldn't watch this video, I think, because this is...
Go
run and do your thing! Yes. But that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it so much. I'm Johannes.
I'm Cinema.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye-bye.